This is group Gem 3. This is our final video on vehicle lane navigation. And I'm Kaylan.
I'm Vishvesh.
And I'm Chun.
All right, so our outline, we'll first talk about the motivation, and then go into the methods, and then at the end, we'll talk about the results. So first, the motivation. We want to construct a rule-based decision maker for a vision-only lane detection and lane following algorithm to enable the gem car to navigate the route in both the simulation and in the real world at high bay. Some difficulties we encountered, the vehicle's vision is kind of narrow, so the lane can actually disappear from sight, and we'll talk about how we solve that. Making a decision at the T crossroad, whether or not to make a left or a right when we're exiting the loops. Gem car is also significantly different from the simulated environment, so we need to change the parameters as it relates to speed control and steering and other factors such as weather and the wind. So here is a quick video of our simulation. This is at 4 times speed. We can see that the car successfully navigates the route and makes a decision here at the crossroad. Here's our block diagram. We get data from the camera, or vision data, do a similar lane detection as MP1, where we get a lane polyfit of the lane, send the data to the decision maker, make a decision based on where the lanes intersect with the bottom of the frame. And that'll send a steering and a speed command to the controller, which will also take into account the current velocity and heading, and then send a steering angle and an acceleration to the motor. All right, so let's talk about our method. For the lane detection, we had some issues with MP1. Once it predicted the wrong lanes, it wouldn't correct them, and it may detect an overlap of the 2 lanes. So if we ever went too far out of the lane, the detector had some issues, then it wouldn't fix anything. So to address these problems, we'd split the lane detector into the left and right lanes. And if the predicted lanes overlap, we decide if one of them should be invalid. And if an anomaly is detected, we'll drop the historical data and refit the lane. And that way it'll correct the lanes. So for the validation module, we validate our lanes based on the starting points of the lanes at the bottom of the frame. The start point of the left lane should be on the left half of the image. Right lane should be in the right half of the image. And additionally, we maintain a state to remember whether the vehicle has entered a turn, allowing for a looser threshold during the turn. So when the right lane drops out, we assign the lane in the frame to be the left lane and then follow that lane to complete the turn.
And our decision makers predict the steering directions based on the starting point of the lane's polynomial. It is a video of a demonstration in the real world, and the intuition of our decision maker is quite straightforward. Like when the car is in the middle of the straight lanes, the starting point of the polynomial will align to the centers. So the system will just instruct the vehicle to move straight forward. But if the starting point is deviated to the left or to the right, then the system will adjust the command to fit the car in the middle of the lane. And if there is only one lane detected, which indicates that the car is inside the turns, so the system will return the direction based on the direction of the turns. And also, to overcome the steering delay challenge, we reduce the velocity to give it more space and time to steer the wheel. And we also consider the ending point as indicators of the future commands, so that the vehicle will take action earlier if expecting a large change in directions.
And then here, some of the values we use to translate the commands into low level control values were like coefficients within the program. And this would be signified as either hard left, left, right, hard right, and then an acceleration. And we use a PID controller to translate the current and desired speeds into the acceleration for the car during the turns or during just the straightaways that would go in. And then for the outcomes, we had a 4 trials to determine the speed of the car as well as how many times it would average outside the lanes. And this showed that the car was pretty robust when it came to completing the laps. And we averaged around 5 minutes per trial and 24 seconds. And also we spent around 3.4% of the time outside the lanes, which showed the robustness and reliability of the car. And furthermore, since we had to slowly steer the car due to its inability to change directions in time, if we had more time, we would probably implement other techniques to increase the speed. such as varying target speeds for each command, or even an algorithm to predict the turns earlier, since currently it can't go over speed of 1.